ASUS has finally announced pricing for the new ASUS ROG XBOX Ally X20, which is the new model with an improved OLED screen and a few other things that we're going to talk about. But the pricing is $12.99 US for the single X20, or you can get the bundle for $24.99 US, which includes the X20, the glasses, a Pelican case, as well as a D brand kill switch case. So you do have two options to choose from depending on what you might need or depending on what you might want. Now you can pre-order it today. It is up for pre-order right now at Best Buy in the US and Canada. I don't know about the rest of the world. I do know North America, just go to Best Buy, you can pre-order it there. And the release date is October 15th. So keep an eye out for that date, but if you want to jump in, you can jump in today for pre-ordering. So as you might notice, I'm doing this from my hotel room, and this is a whole makeshift setup. So hopefully you can get past all of that, ignore all of that. Today's gonna be a little bit of a weird video for me. Not so much under the studio, my voice is gone, I'm using a whole bunch of random stuff. So ignore all of that, try and get as much of the content out of what I'm saying instead of how it's looking and maybe sounding. But sorry about that, I lost my voice the first day I got here and I can't get it back. I've tried so much. But let's talk about the X20. So the very first thing that everybody wants to know is the screen. And it is an absolutely gorgeous OLED screen. 7.4 inches, 600 nits, OLED HDR, 16:9 aspect ratio still 1920 by 1080 with VRR, and it is a native landscape display. All of those things are fantastic in their own right. So the display itself is gorgeous, and you buy this device for the upgraded display. As somebody who has loved all of the Allies since the beginning, the one constant feedback that I've had, everybody's had, is can you improve the screen? Can we get to an OLED screen? And so they've finally done it for about $300 more, although there are more than $300 in upgrades if you include everything else that we're going to talk about. But the long story short is if you're here for the screen is really nice. In each of the environments that I tested it in today, looks fantastic. So from my perspective, looks like a really good OLED screen, but we'll leave it for the review to see if there's any weird things going on. Now another new upgrade here is the sticks. The sticks are now TMR sticks. So they've gotten a nice upgraded design to that, and they're a little bit more resistive. So they're not as loose as previous Ally sticks have been. They have a little bit more resist to them, which feels pretty good. You get a little bit more feedback when you're using the sticks. But otherwise, upgrading to TMR is just a normal sort of expectation. No more drift, no more worrying about any of that. You're just getting TMR right out the gate. The D-pad is easily one of my favorite new upgrades. You have an opportunity to switch between an 8-way D-pad, which is my personal favorite, or a 4-way D-pad. You just lift up the D-pad, you spin it, and it locks into whatever scenario you wanted. They both feel very similar but very different at the same time. You can feel the little grooves when you're in 4-way mode where you don't feel that in 8-way mode. So it's just options here, but it is a nice upgrade to something that I really didn't think needed an upgrade. Then we get over to the buttons, and these are light, easy to push down buttons, but they are still clicky and clacky for anybody that's worried about that. The sound hasn't changed, it is the feeling of the buttons. They're a little bit more closer to the shell, and they're a little bit easier to push down. So it's a big difference compared to the previous models, but not in a bad way from my testing. One little thing that I do want to mention is the Xbox logo lights up when you turn on the device. It's such a little thing that I kind of love, but doesn't change or move the needle for anybody, but when you turn on the device, the Xbox logo just lights up. So you know that it's on and everything's working and you have a nice big Xbox logo. It's the little things for me that do it. Now, one thing that didn't need improving, but they did anyways, is the cooling. So with an OLED panel, it ends up heating the device a little bit more, which means they had to improve the cooling a little bit more. Honestly, they probably could have got away with the old cooling. Cooling was never an issue on any device from ASUS for the most part when it comes to handhelds, but especially the Xbox Ally X. It's never been a concern, but they've improved that as well. So now they have extra cooling to cool down the display, so it's not as hot to the touch, and you also have improved cooling for the device. So it's a win-win scenario here. Again, one of the things that you really didn't need as an upgrade, but we got anyways. Speaking of things we don't need, one of the things they did improve as well was adding better textured grips to the handles. So now they're a lot more textured, a lot more grippy. It makes it easier to one-hand the device, where in the past it was a little bit more plasticky and really wasn't that way. Even though it does have a little bit of grips on the Xbox Ally X, they're a lot more pronounced and they're a lot more grippy on this new model, which is really good. Then we get over to the micro SD card slot, and this got an upgrade to accept Express cards. So if you want to use micro SD card Express now, and you're rich enough to afford one of those drives, you can put that in here. This is one of those things where as more and more space is being offloaded to SD cards, the ability to handle those games quickly is something that you want. And so SD card Express is a good addition. Again, I don't think this is going to move the needle, but it is part of the full package of, I'm spending $300 more on this device, what am I getting besides the display? And the answer is a decent amount here. Now, the one negative here is that it is 41 grams heavier. However, holding it, you wouldn't feel that in your hands. I was able to play with it in multiple different scenarios today. It all feels like a normal Xbox Ally X. If you could tell the difference between 41 grams, God bless you. But in my hands, it felt great, as the Xbox Ally X does. I think for people who love the Xbox Ally X like I do, and think of it as the kind of best value, best all-around PC handheld at the moment, you are getting that, but now improvements. There isn't really anything negative or going backwards here. So where we talk about screen, you're getting an improved screen, you're getting improved sticks, you're getting a better D-pad, you're getting better cooling. All of this for $300 more. Now, on its own, in a normal world, $1,300 would be on the pushing it type of range. In today's world, where the Xbox Ally X hasn't gone up in price, it's still $1,000 US, and you're getting $300 more to buy an X20, I think in my mind, this is a good value. The person who wants this is the person who didn't buy the Xbox Ally X because the screen. That is the number one thing that over the years, even including myself, we've always pointed to: the screen. Now that you have the screen and you have the cooling, you have the good fan noise, you have power, you have all of this in one handheld, it's hard to beat ASUS at this game. Like, they're doing fantastic work here. But I'm super excited to get the X20 in my hands when it releases October 15th. But otherwise, that's really all I have for you today. Again, ignore the voice, I apologize, ignore the whole setup here. I am making do with what I have, which is my phone and a tripod and some random DJI mic and all of that. I'm not used to this scenario, but I'll have another video on Gamescom and what I find and see when I go to Gamescom in 2 days, or tomorrow, whenever it is. And we'll talk about Gamescom as a whole, but today I want to talk about the X20 and what I saw today. There was a lot there at the ASUS event today. Got to see a whole bunch of different monitors, got to see a whole bunch of mice, got to see a whole bunch of different things that ASUS is doing, which is really cool. But at the end of the day, I'm there for the Ally X20, of course. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think about the Ally X20? Are you interested? Are you not? I'm interested. I bought the Ally X, Xbox Ally X, and all the Ally X's. I'm gonna get this one as well. Either it's sent to me or I'm buying it. It's for me. But I wanna know what you think, and let me know in the comments. So don't forget to like and sub to help the channel grow. Come join me on the Discord to talk all about retro gaming, and hope you all have a good one.